Hi, I am Haley Sampson, and this is my plan of study artifact presentation. Okay, there we go. So in ITI 670 Intro to SEL, the purpose of this assignment was to read an article that introduced 5 key elements of building positive relationships with students and reflect on new information. So I believe that this artifact both introduced and developed PLO3 because the SEL terms that were researched were familiar to me, but I needed more background information on them. This assignment was very beneficial because I was able to immediately apply what I learned in my own classroom. In ITI 672, Social Emotional Learning and Action, the artifact I chose was the perfect purpose of this assignment was to find and analyze various social emotional learning strategies that we could use in our own classes. These strategies needed to be backed by evidence. So I believe that this artifact also introduced and developed PLO3. Again, I was familiar with the strategies that we were discussing. However, through this research, I was able to expand my knowledge. One example was with restorative circles. I had used them in my class before and I knew how they worked, but this class helped me understand what I was doing wrong and made my circles way better. In MAE 610, our plan of study and practitioner research, the artifact that I chose, the purpose of it was to research a study and analyze that study in order to improve our teaching practices. So I believe that this assignment introduced and developed PLO2. Since we were analyzing studies, it helped me understand what to look for when reading the studies in general. We were able to focus on inclusion in the classroom, which really helped me apply these ideas in my own classroom. Oh my gosh. In EDA 646, Strategic Planning and Analysis, the assignment that I chose, the purpose was to analyze the strategic plan of a university and reflect on the ways to make the process better. I chose to look at my alma mater, SDSU, in order to reflect on the plans that I had seen in motion. So I believe that this assignment helped me develop PLO4. This assignment was all about being confronted with a problem and reflecting on how to solve it. Using my own prior school allowed me to reflect even deeper because I was able to see issues from the point of view of a school official and as a student. In EC 653, Best Early Childhood Education Teaching Practices, the assignment that I chose, the purpose was to interview 2 colleagues or mentors about their teaching practices and reflect on those strategies. So in this assignment, I decided to interview one administrator from my school and then a fellow teacher from my school. And I believe that this assignment helped me further develop PLO4. Interviewing people that I looked up to and knew in real life allowed me to be extremely reflective in my own teaching practices. And since these were my colleagues, we also have the same exact set of circumstances being at the same school, which allowed me to understand how different people face the same obstacles. So then in ECE 655, Inclusive Early Childhood Education Practices, the purpose of the assignment I chose was to analyze methods of inclusion and discuss how they can be implemented in our own classrooms. So this assignment helped me develop and master PLO2. While writing this essay, I felt extremely confident in my knowledge on the topics of inclusion that I was discussing. It was one of the first times where I had felt that I had ideas to add that were my own, I was able to pull from my own experiences and discuss actual ways I differentiate in my own classroom. And then in ECE 652, Early Childhood Education, Learning and Development, the assignment I chose was to observe several lessons taking place in an early childhood class and reflect on the strategies being used by the instructor. So this came in the form of videos that we looked at. Because of COVID. We were not able to go into the classrooms of early childhood classes. So I thought that this assignment allowed me to develop and master PLO 4. This specific assignment allowed me to observe other teachers and pick out strategies that I noticed they were using. We were no longer being given strategies to learn about, we were able to see them in action. And then in EDA 640, Intro to Higher Education Administration, the purpose of the assignment I chose was to research some of the issues that college students are faced with on a daily basis and reflect on how you would solve it if you were the administrator in charge. So this assignment allowed me to develop PLO 4. I was able to use my experience as a college student in order to discuss common problems faced by college students and also discuss potential solutions to the problem in the form of being an administrator. In ITI 674, Research in Social Emotional Learning, the purpose of the assignment I chose was to submit a research proposal about an issue in the field of social emotional learning. I chose to discuss the best implementation strategies for new social emotional programs in different schools. So this assignment allowed me to develop and master PLO 3. This was the first research proposal that I had ever written on my own, but it was very scaffolded by the teacher. I felt extremely confident in the ideology that I was discussing, but the format was very new for me as a writer. So I felt that I was still in the process of majorly developing those skills. And lastly, MAE 670, Applied Practitioner Research. The purpose of the assignment was to propose a research study about teaching methods in the field of social emotional learning. And the assignment further helped me develop and master PLO 3. This research proposal was less scaffolded than the previous one, but I still felt a bit unfamiliar with the process, so I didn't feel like I could say that I had fully mastered. And again, I felt confident with the material, but I needed more practice with the format of the proposal. But again, I do feel very confident with the topic I chose, which was growth mindset. Thank you.